This now, a 28-year-old will appear in the Protea Magistrates court for his alleged involvement in the death of a 41-year-old woman. The woman was found buried in a shallow grave in a shack in Vlakfontein. The suspect is believed to have confessed to the murder. For more on this, we're joined by our reporter, that's Slindelo Masigane. She is outside court. Sli, very good morning to you. So what's more alarming about this particular story is that the suspect allegedly involved in this may have also committed 5 more murders. Is that yet more confession from him?
Certainly, Koli, that is what's really, I think, most shocking about this particular case. We are just in the beginning stages of celebrating Women's Month, and this is basically an example of the kind of situation that women find themselves in, where they are basically dying at the hands of their partners. But in this particular case, Koli, it is alleged that this particular young man, who's 28 years old, he was supposedly dating a woman who was 41 years old, and a close neighbor and a friend of that particular woman noticed that she hadn't seen her in a while, and the last time she was seen alive was around June. And so she kept on probing and asking the 28-year-old, the suspect, where is she, what's happened to her. And the story that she was given was that this particular woman had found a job, and she was living with the employer. But to the friend, it just didn't make sense, because her ID was still in her possession, and she said that no, but I still have her ID, so I don't understand how she could have been able to get a job without that particular ID. And after continuous prodding, he eventually confessed on Sunday afternoon, and this is when she proceeded to then call the police and hand him over to the police.
Slindelo, also the MEC yesterday speaking about a copycat killing in this incident. She's obviously referring to those murders, those 7 murders last October.
Certainly, this is not the first time that a body is being found buried inside a home. Last year in October 2018, my colleague Lindo Gutlekulu broke the story about the 7 bodies that were found inside a home in Vlakfontein as well. Instead, this was this time in extension 3, if I'm not mistaken. Several children with their mothers were found buried inside a home, and it was only after a strong stench coming from that home that those bodies were found. And in this particular incident, it seems as though for at least 2 months now, neighbors were not able to smell anything coming out of that particular shack. It may have been because the conditions thus far have been quite cold, and we are coming towards the end of winter. And so when I was probing and asking the neighbors, but didn't you guys, suspect anything, see anything, when was the last time you saw her alive? They simply said that, she really just almost disappeared, and it seemed as though this suspect was in and out of that house very frequently, but not necessarily inviting anybody inside or anything of the sorts. And so after that confession was obtained, forensics, of course, went to the scene, search and rescue, then exhumed a body of a woman underneath the bed. And so we understand, of course, that the identity of the woman, Koli, is also still unknown at this stage. We expect to find out in court exactly who she was, where her family is based. It seems as though she may have been from the Free State, and so it's now up to the department. The MEC did say that the department will be trying to track down the family, also appealing, the MEC also appealing really to communities like Vlakfontein to look out for each other, that neighbors should know each other. And so today we do, of course, expect the MEC to attend the first appearance. It won't be a long court appearance. It is the first one, and so we just expect to find out a little bit more detail around these so-called other murders that the 28-year-old suspect is involved in, and of course he has been charged with murder.
Slindelo Masigane, thank you very much for that update.